So we might be the only tree-to-bar operation where we're actually growing the cocoa and making the chocolate bars on site.
So the Swiss aren't growing cocoa beans?
No, the Swiss are not growing cocoa beans.
Meet Mott Green, a man who left the U.S. for the sunny and laid-back lifestyle of Grenada. When he arrived, he had no idea what a big impact he would have on this tiny Caribbean island.
There are cocoa trees all over where I was living, and I noticed people weren't picking them. Why don't cocoa farmers simply just make the chocolate bars themselves?
Now Mott is rewriting the rules of the chocolate industry by empowering local cocoa farmers and creating the world's first farm-to-bar chocolate operation.
So this is our new cocoa dryer.
This is so cool.
The result is a sustainable alternative to the harsh and exploitive farming practices that have become all too common in global chocolate production.
I want to go swim in that, Mott.
The Grenada Organic Cocoa Farmers Cooperative. People join us and they become shareholders of the whole chocolate company.
Mott has dedicated his life in paradise to creating amazing chocolate that is sold throughout the world and has become a folk hero to the local Grenadians.
I think he has a wonderful chocolate because it has its natural cocoa taste.
Have you ever heard that the endorphins that come out when you eat chocolate makes you feel like you're in love? Wow. People think I'm joking if I tell them exactly how my lifestyle is here. Grenada is full of amazing spots like this.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're here in lush Hermitage, Grenada to meet expat Mott Green. Mott moved down here years ago to escape the chilly winters of the Northeast and ended up staying a little bit longer than expected. After falling in love with a special island cocoa drink, Mott got the idea to make chocolate from the local beans, and thus the Grenada Chocolate Factory was born. Now this chocolate is getting rave reviews all over the world, not only for its taste, but for the eco-friendly way it's produced. Let's head in and see what all the excitement's about. Hello.
Hi, Savannah. Welcome to Grenada. Welcome to our chocolate shop.
Thank you.
And our cocoa fermentery and cocoa farm.
This place is nice.
We make all these different bonbons with only local fruit and nuts and spices. Do you like passion fruit?
I love passion.
Try a passion fruit truffle. They're
Oh,
really,
can I try more than one?
You can. Wow. Passion fruit real comes through strong, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
It all starts with the chocolate itself. And I can show you exactly why our chocolate's so delicious.
Great.
My name is Mott Green, and I'm from New York City. I've lived here in Grenada for 25 years, and I'm also a Grenadian citizen. Okay, well, all we do is we cross this road here, and then we're going to cross the river. One day we're going to build a bridge over there across. Right now we have to carry the cocoa beans in buckets over the river from stone to stone.
Wow, you're barefoot. That seems like it might be easier.
Well, I'm used to it. It is easier, right? You okay?
Yeah.
So here we are. We have to cross the river.
Do you have to do this every day to go to the cocoa farm?
Well, every time we go to this farm, yeah. And the hard part is carrying buckets of cocoa beans out.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
Well, I want to show you how the pods grow right out of the tree, which
Oh,
is where the
cool.
chocolate comes from. And what we do first in the tree to bar process, I call it, of course, we harvest the cocoa pods. This will work. You can see it's very beautiful.
So this
And,
is what chocolate comes from.
This is a chocolate cocoa. Isn't that amazing? This is a cocoa pod.
How does a New York City native become a cocoa farmer in Grenada?
Just one thing led to the next. I was living here for 11 years before I had the idea of making a chocolate factory on a cocoa farm and starting this cooperative. And I just wanted to live in nature, and I love the Caribbean, and it's kind of escaping my squat lifestyle in
Your
the
squat lifestyle, what does that
Yeah.
mean?
Well, when I dropped out of college, I started to live in squats.
Where are we going to college?
University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia.
UPenn.
Yeah.
You dropped out of an Ivy League college to become a squatter?
Yeah. And pretty much the transition happened in 2 days, too.
Really?
In 1988, yeah.
Why'd you drop out?
And then I just lost interest in American society in general. So moving into squats and running soup kitchens and doing other activism
Wow.
and creating shelters for homeless people was fun and adventurous and made me feel much better about my life.
And what did your family think?
They didn't like it. They didn't really understand it. You know, they appreciated my idealism, wanting to help people, etc. But they didn't like the idea of not finishing school and not developing a career.
It broke our hearts that he did not graduate from college because he was a great student. But he really was serving the poor. So it's hard to be angry with him, except it was so frustrating because he didn't fulfill any of conventional upper middle class folks' dreams.
How'd you pick Grenada?
Well, you know, in New York City, the winters are very bitter. And I think that was part of it. I felt like it was time to roam around a warm area. So I went to a few different islands. But I definitely fell in love with the vibe of the people here more so than the other islands. So I just kept coming back here since that first trip.
Couldn't get enough.
Yeah, I couldn't get enough. When I first got here, I had a little backpack and a little bit of money, not very much. But I figured I would just find a place to sleep on the beach and see what happened. And I had no idea what would happen and what to expect.
Mott was a person that was not afraid of the unknown. He has an enthusiastic, reckless abandonment where he could throw himself into a scenario and see which way things are going to fall and fly.
I took the little money I had and just scrounged and scavenged a little food from trees and things like that. And I spent a certain amount of time at the beach and just walking around, mostly just listening to reggae and cooking, hanging out. It was quite adventurous. And then this guy named Goatee befriended me and told me that he's from this little village on the other side of the island called Hermitage, and that there's an old bamboo house there that he used to live in that we could fix up, and he would teach me how to cook and how to build bamboo houses, and I could come up there with him.
He actually built himself a bamboo house, electrified it with solar energy, brought water up from a river. Incredibly adventurous to live by himself in the rainforest in Grenada.
Not being part of the problem in society and the possibility of living independent, all of those things were, I think, a real process of learning to be alone in a way that I found very beautiful and I was very attracted to.
Oh, wow. Whoa,
And,
that looks like an alien.
And you can suck the fruit.
That's actually kind of sweet.
Until it's fermented, but the fruit is sweet. So you can just put it in your mouth and suck the fruit off the seed.
So the bean is what makes the chocolate.
Right.
And then the fruit that grows around it is just...
The fruit's part of the chocolate making process in a way, because the fruit goes into the fermenter with the seeds.
Wow, that's so good.
You want to see more of the farm?
Yeah, let's see the
Look
next
for some
part.
more
I want
pods?
to see the next
Yeah.
part of the process.
Right, so this is our new cocoa dryer. And it's a big improvement.
This is so cool.
When you first came down here, your idea wasn't to create a chocolate company, probably. I
No,
would imagine.
not at all, not at all. I had no particular interest in that at all. I discovered cocoa here. There are cocoa trees all over where I was living, and I noticed people weren't picking them. So I wondered, with all my cocoa farmer friends around complaining they weren't getting enough for their cocoa beans, I was just wondering, why don't farmers ever just make the chocolate themselves? You know, then they could
Nobody was
sell
making
it.
chocolate here in Grenada at the time.
No. People told me, well, the price is so low that they're getting, it's not really worth it anymore to pick it. And I thought that was so crazy. It's a very high valued cocoa bean, was my understanding, on the world market, going into very expensive chocolate. So I figured, of all places with such good cocoa, why don't cocoa farmers simply just make the chocolate bars and export the chocolate bars?
David had this idea that people in the Caribbean become impoverished because they leave agriculture and they go into the cities. His vision was to bring people back to the agriculture with the idea that he was going to pay the farmers good money for their cocoa.
Grenada had all these beautiful natural resources, but instead of harnessing them and creating something out of them, all the natural resources were being shipped out. So he said, instead of importing these cheap, poisonous products from the outside, I could take these natural materials here and create something organic and create a cooperative, which would then help to feed into people's own relationship with the island itself.
Bean to bar, from the agriculture all the way to these beautiful chocolate bars that even sell in Whole Foods.
We're getting quite well known as being one of the best chocolates in the world. You know, by extension, I might be one of the best chocolate makers in the world. Nothing stopping us except for a lot more hard work and time to make a lot more. So here we are at the chocolate factory itself.
I can smell it. It smells so good.
And every batch is roasted just 22 kilos at a time, so that's about 50 pounds. So we roast a lot of the day, a few days a week. So So here we are in the roaster room. The beans are roasting inside this chamber. You can see where the gas flames go in. And
Smells amazing.
it's amazing. This is a machine that we actually built ourselves. It's called a winnowing machine. It cracks the cocoa into shells and nibs, which come down here. This already starts to taste like chocolate.
Oh my gosh, it tastes awesome.
And this is a really gorgeous antique machine called the mélanger. And we use it to grind the nibs and sugar into a paste. And as those nibs grind, the fat starts to come out. And the thick liquid goes into this machine.
That smells like chocolate. I want to go swim in that, Mott.
This is our molding machine that actually makes the bars from the liquid chocolate that comes through this pipe from the
upstairs?
tank, from the tank upstairs.
That is a finished chocolate
Finished
bar.
chocolate bar. We just take the long end and pull it over like that,
It's like wrapping a present.
just like wrapping a present.
I'm sure that the workers go a little bit faster than this,
They
huh?
go really fast, but not on the first day. When we're training someone, and you put the glue on here. And then the hard part is, while holding this, you have to pull this with some force,
Get it
but
tight.
still not ripping it, and lined up straight. And then you squeeze it and crease it, and there you are.
Chocolate bar wrapped. Very cool.
Okay, well here we are upstairs in the factory, and up here is where I live.
Wait,
And this-
you live here?
I live right in this little room here. So this is like captain's quarters, you know?
Oh
Like-
my goodness.
And I sleep here. It's also our tool storage area, so. this
You
is
literally live, eat,
in
and
the tool
breathe
room.
chocolate, Mott.
I do.
What do the ladies think of this setup?
Well, you know, I don't know, because I think it's clear, though, if I ever did want to have a permanent relationship and really live with someone, I would need, at that point.
To maybe move out of the
to
tool
move-
shed in the
to move-
chocolate factory?
Exactly. And,
Till
probably
then, you're
have
here,
a-
though.
Till then, I'm here.
I often wonder about the future for David. Hopefully he'll find a partner, but I don't know. If he finds a beautiful Grenadian woman, that's fine. I just want to be happy, settle down a little bit more.
I've never been to Grenada before, so could I pry you out of the factory and go check out some sights and
Yeah,
see
let's
what this island's all about?
go
Let's
around
do
the
it.
whole
Let's
island,
go see
yeah.
the island.
I know you wonder why we are here tonight. I know you wonder. I bet you wonder why we are here tonight. Well, don't worry. Come round, join the jamboree of life. We talk about peace, love, and harmony.
Over the last 24 years here, I definitely think my personality's changed overall to kind of live in the moment a bit more. And just generally a more relaxed way to live. Having said that, I'm completely frantic when I'm here trying to keep this company going. And if anything, I'm more relaxed when I'm traveling because I'm not worried about things breaking every moment and constantly running around fixing things and dealing with so many other details. I think that when you have frantic amount of work like that, it helps to have a kind of some level of inner calm, which I think I've developed here. Here we are at Dell Waterfall.
This is nice.
Grenada is full of amazing spots like this.
Wow, it's gorgeous. What else can you do on this island? Like, what else do you do for fun when you finally let yourself have a little fun?
Well, if I have time, I like to go fishing a lot. And I have this little Hobie Cat, and I take these wild, rough rides in the sea there. Sometimes I even deliver chocolate to Carriacou, 20 miles away over a huge open sea.
Wow.
On a little 13-foot Hobie Cat, so I got kind of known for that. So that's sort of my main fun. But on a daily basis, I'm always thinking if I just get done with everything enough in time, then I can do another hour or two of really nice, fast sailing and usually catch my supper pulling a line along.
What do you catch?
Tunas,
Really?
Spanish mackerels, barracudas, dorados. I think it was last year I didn't buy a fish for about 8 months. Every single time I was catching, and sometimes a few. I'd come back with 4 or 5 tunas and then
No
give them away to my
way.
friends in the village and just cook one.
That's amazing. Fresh
Yeah.
sushi for everybody?
Exactly, sashimi. My latest thing has been a ceviche. I've been experimenting a lot with ceviche lately.
You obviously weren't a fisherman in New York City and Philly.
That's right. Not even growing up on lakes. I never
No?
fished in my life. You know, what happened was I just started to realize now's the time. It'd be the perfect place for a Hobie Cat. And I got it, and then next thing I know, I'm catching my own fish and delivering
Sailing off
chocolate.
to islands, delivering chocolate, reeling in huge tuna. Well, I think I'm ready to take a dip. This looks lovely.
Yeah, it's nice and cool. Hi, Savannah. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. What are we up to today?
Well, I have to go across the island to St. George's. It's about 20 miles,
Okay.
but it seems longer because the roads are... And I have to go see our broker and deal with a export to London that's going to happen next week. I have to get
so
some
the business side.
The business side.
Oh, the business
The details,
side.
the details.
Can I accompany you? Check out the
Sure,
details?
why not? You'll get a nice view of Grenada on the way.
Fantastic.
I want to give the broker this information on the way there, so he might have done the paperwork by the time I get there, so we don't wait as much. So I'm going to need this number, and I'm going to need this number. Just tell me those numbers while I'm talking to
While
him.
you're
Yeah, that way
talking on the phone and driving,
Yes,
Mott.
exactly. Exactly what I'm trying to.
Oh, I don't want to contribute.
Well, the thing is, look at it this way. You are contributing to our safety, because otherwise I'd be reading that
And talking on the
and
phone
driving.
and driving. Okay, I'm happy to assist then.
Even though there's a few different types of chocolate bars and also cocoa powder, you can just say chocolate products like we did last time, right? And just do a total number of boxes. And the total weight is...
3,335 kilos.
3,335 kilos.
I feel like we're doing a drug deal.
You know, over the years I've been delegating things like this and things like everything involving the business more and more to other people.
So you're setting up eventually that it kind of a little bit runs on its own and you can't go off for a couple months and do what you need to do.
For the first few years I couldn't leave for a day, and I roasted every single batch myself, in fact. Then slowly all of the chocolate making over the years became possible to do without me at all, as long as nothing breaks. And then the business side, which is the least interesting to me. In an ideal world, somebody else would sell
We'll
the chocolate.
totally
and-
take
yeah.
care of that part. You just get to roast it and then somebody else
Exactly.
fills out the paperwork.
Exactly. Okay, here we are at the customs house. Now I just have to hope that the right person's in here to stamp this. One little stamp and then we're done.
All right, Mott, what are we in for now? It looks extreme.
Well, now I'm going to take you on my favorite thing for me to do in my life here in Grenada, apart from making chocolate, of course. This is my little Hobie Cat.
Cool.
Amazing little invention. It looks small, but I take it all the way to Carriacou, 20 miles away.
Wow, we're not going all the way there, are we?
No, we don't
Okay.
have time for that today. We would have had
I
to leave
don't
early.
feel prepared.
I'm not prepared either.
Your life is obviously very different from when you were living back in Philly and New York.
Of course, I feel extremely fortunate. I mean, it's almost, you know, sometimes people think I'm joking if I'm traveling and I tell them exactly how my lifestyle is here, because it sounds a little fairy tale-like.
And what would your advice be for people that have this dream of cutting the cord and moving to an island?
Well, I would say in a nutshell is you identify a place that you seem to love or you're intrigued with and that you identify as being extremely safe. Then you can have reckless abandon. You can go live in the woods, you can just couch surf, you can probably meet people if they're nice people, and then that could lead to all kinds of things like it has in my case.
And what about the future of the Grenada Chocolate Company? What do you see for that?
I would just love to grow it. It's been a long road, but we have a long way to go. You know, we have only 12 farms. It took many years to develop this cooperative and get this amount of farms, and we could have hundreds of farms. That would simply make many more jobs, which people need so much here, and help more cocoa farmers.
Create more jobs
just
and build your factory?
Just survive this project and grow.
All right, well, I think I'm ready to get out there.
You ready? It doesn't look too rough to you?
No, no, no. I'm a very able crew member, so I can help you out with this. No
Good,
problem.
That's going to be important.
All right, shall we push her out to sea?
Let's do it. There were many moments over the last 24 years here where I just got so frustrated with the business. There were times where we just couldn't sell enough, and then times where we couldn't get enough cocoa beans, and times where farmers that we had worked hard to certify organic dropped out and we were back to not having enough cocoa beans. It's extraordinarily challenging and difficult it's been. So there have been times I've gotten extremely frustrated and wondered if we could continue. But despite all of that, this truly is home for me now, you know, and I truly do feel loved and love the people here around me, and that's kind of become my family.
Mott's quite vulnerable in many ways. He's a loner, although he'd like, obviously, to find an ultimate partner in life. But he's a really, really good friend, very sincere, very genuine, very honest. Couldn't want for a better mate, really. I'd say he was 100%.
In this life we live, we are only returning home. In this life we live, we are only returning home.
The creation of the Grenada Chocolate Company and the vision that Mott had and the way that I saw it as an environmentalist seemed to make perfect sense. He's created such a quality organization and such a quality product. I'm not surprised, I'm definitely impressed though.
He lives in this tiny room in the back of the factory, and he lives and breathes chocolate. People can take away from David's experience and his success. It's not financial success, but it's success in fulfilling his vision. And that's a very impressive story. Not many people can say that about their lives.
Really what drives me on is the responsibility, keeping this project going, and the joy of full immersion into it. Pretty lucky, I think, to have a work I love doing so much that's also challenging and keeps me busy constantly.
I'm very proud of him.
I think we just have the chance to become a bigger and bigger international institution of where people go to see cocoa farming and chocolate making by cocoa farmers. We can help more and more people. We can become a much bigger part of the Grenadian economy.
In this life we are only returning home.
The goal here was to create a place that was more than just a hotel.
Jeez.
Every room has a little bit of a different flavor to it. This room is all about the bed. I really love designing spaces where I can watch people enjoy themselves.
Did you have those moments of like, oh my God, what am I doing down here?
I had a contractor that ripped me off for about $80,000. To me, a how is like in its infant stages.
Oh. So what's it like raising your little girl in paradise?
I love it.
I wake up every morning and I pinch myself.
Pharrell Williams here.
Hi, I'm Joy Bryant.
I'm Eric Ripper.
I'm Tom Colicchio.
I'm Dr. Frank Lipman, the host of On the Table.
The host of Across the Board.
Host of Artist Talk.
Host of Hooked Up.
Host of the show, Be Well Week, Be Well Weekend, on the Reserve channel.
It's only on Reserve.
Did you know that you can follow my show on social media sites like Facebook?
Follow us on Twitter.
If you're a fan of my show, hit the like button.
All of the above.
Share me with your friends.
Treat yourself. Check out a new episode of my show, Hooked Up.
And if you want to leave comments, feedbacks, ideas, whatever, love to hear from you. Leave a comment.
And if you don't want to miss the show, be sure to subscribe.
The one that's like down here, or is it here? Somewhere down here.
Thanks for watching the Reserve channel.
Only on YouTube. Throw caution to the wind and ask yourself what rules.